Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Browns NFL early games Week 11 update show. We'll talk about today's Browns game and what I expect and what everybody expects, and we'll have the picks of the week, and we'll get to all the NFL scores that are going on right now, and all the NFL games that I should say that are going. We'll update you on that. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 Week 11 NFL trivia question. It's a Steelers trivia question. Who did the Steelers beat in their first regular season game? And I will have the answer later on the podcast. It's Week 11 of the NFL regular season. The Browns are taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers right now at Cleveland Browns Stadium. The Browns are coming off a dramatic 33-31 win over the the Ravens last week. Excuse me. Uh, of the Baltimore Ravens, as I said, the Browns will look to go to 7-3 with a win over the Steelers today. Deshaun Watson is out, as you know, is out for the rest of the season with a broken bone injury to his throwing shoulder. Watson has to have surgery on his right shoulder, so we will hopefully get Watson back for the 2024 season. Now, Andrew Berry knows what he is looking for a quarterback to fill in for Watson, and we'll get to that momentarily. This past week, actually, the Browns decided to, after a change of heart, that they would start the rookie DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson, and he is getting the start today for the Browns against the Steelers. DTR has been practicing 90 days so he can put his best foot forward in the game against Pittsburgh. The Browns have uh, been having tryouts at the quarterback position. Uh, position because they need an experienced quarterback to fill in until Watson returns next season. Uh, the Browns have brought in Super Bowl winning quarterback Joe Flacco for workouts, and he is one of the candidates for the fill-in quarterback. And there are a couple of other ones, but I think Flacco. I think the Browns need to sign him because he is 18-3 when we played the Bengals, and when he's played against the Browns. So I think the Browns should sign him to fill in for Deshaun Watson. Right now it's 7-0 Browns, second quarter, 8:33 to go until halftime. It is a 2nd and 5 at the Pittsburgh 38. Pittsburgh has the ball. Uh, if there's one team that has dealt with a ton of adversity this season, it's the Cleveland Browns losing their starting right tackle, running back, and starting quarterback. This season is less than ideal. Now the team is 6-3 and still in the playoff picture. Losing Watson stinks, but the team is balancing the outdoor noise. The Browns really want to make the postseason and really make a run in the playoffs as well. So they know what they are having to do. Uh, but I mean, I think it was a mistake. Andrew Berry knows, and he feels that it was a mistake to trade away Josh Jacobs to the Minnesota Vikings. And and there is something notably different, maybe even a little bit odd, about Sunday's matchup, and it's today's matchup between the Browns and Steelers. While the AFC North rivals have identical 6-3 records, it's a battle of two 6-3 teams, as you know. Uh, Questions at quarterback, a new one for the Browns this week, and two of the NFL's most rabid uh, rabid fan bases, there may be a slight variation separating the teams. Hold on to your terrible towel. Cleveland's defense is superior. They're probably playing better than anyone right now, said Pittsburgh coach Mike Tomlin. Never one to pass out unwarned praise. They've got an awesome collection of talent, and they've got an awesome uh, schematic approach to that collection of talent. While not to be confused with Pittsburgh's farm steel curtain defense of the 1970s, Cleveland's no nickname unit has been the league's top ranked most of the season, and the Browns are about to lean all the world edge on rusher Myles Garrett and company more than ever. Well, quarterback Deshaun Watson done for the season, as I mentioned, with a fracture in his right shoulder. The Browns will count on their defense to carry them. That's not necessarily new, as Cleveland's defense ranked number one overall against the pass has helped the Browns overcome obstacles all season. Whether it has been key injuries, uncertainly at quarterback, questionable calls, or last week's 14-point deficit in the fourth at Baltimore, the Browns have found a way. The resilience, the resilience of this team, man, linebacker Anthony Walker Jr. said, the guys that we have in this locker room, I believe in everybody. Everybody believes in one another. Defensively, we've got to control what we can control, and that's us going out there getting stops how we feel. If this team doesn't score, they don't win. So we know we have to play elite defense. Elite might not be enough to describe how Garrett's playing. He's got 11 sacks and he's number one on defense, but those don't tell the whole story behind his dominance. Teams are game planning around him, and Garrett is still uh, reckoning havoc. Mr. Garrett, Tomlin said, is having a special season. In watching film, Tomlin noted how the Cincinnati Bengals used a tackle and running back to block Garrett, but still got the sack. Same for Indianapolis, which devoted a tight end to help their tackle, and Garrett abused them as well. That's what guys like him do, Tomlin said, but he's not a one-man gang. First-year coordinator Jim Schwartz has brought out the best in Garrett and has the defense playing at a historic level. Browns are allowing 242.7 yards per game, the fewest by a team through 10 games since the 2008 Steelers, excuse me. Can't say enough about what Jim Schwartz has done, and really he needs no endorsement from me, Tomlin said. The tape is in his and their storyteller. Now, rookie quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson vowed to make the most of a second chance whenever it came. It arrived. A fifth-round pick from UCLA, Thompson-Robinson, will take over for Watson and try to keep the Browns, who are 6-3, for just the third time since 1999 in the playoff hunt. Thompson-Robinson flopped in his NFL debut when, as a last-minute replacement for an injured Watson on October 1st against Baltimore, as he threw 3 picks in a 28-3 loss. Coach Kevin Stefanski believes a full week of preparation will make a huge difference for the 24-year-old who feels more ready. You kind of knock all the rust off and stuff off after your first go around, he said. It's going to be night and day, just my progression, the maturity, how I've handled the week this far, and all 3 weeks before, just being able to learn from that first experience, it's going to help me a bunch. Now, the Steelers have lost veteran inside linebackers Cole Holcomb and Quan Alexander to season-ending injuries in consecutive weeks, testing Pittsburgh's depth and a run defense that has been scattershot. The Steelers have allowed at least 100 yards rushing in 8 of 9 games, including a season-high 198 to Cleveland in the team's first meeting on September 18th, a 26-22 win by Pittsburgh. Elandon Roberts will likely see his snap count increase with second-year pro Mark Robinson and former Atlanta Falcons linebacker Mykal Walker signed to the practice squad late last month, serving as part of the rotation that could include Pittsburgh dropping a safety in passing situations. For Walker, who has bounced around since being cut by the Falcons in August, uh, that chance to join a team in playoff contention is a long time coming. I've never been over 500 during my career, Walker said. Uh, I didn't sign here thinking uh, I'd get a chance to contribute immediately, but them knowing my resume and what I can bring to be given this opportunity means a lot. Uh, and uh, the Steelers on the first team are the first team to be outgained in each of their first 9 games and post a winning record. A stretch that includes a comeback win over Cleveland, in which the offense actually lost yardage in the fourth quarter, but won on a scoop and score by All-Pro linebacker T.J. Watt. Now, hopefully, that won't be the story today, because hopefully, we're going to beat Pittsburgh. Uh, While Tomlin and second-year quarterback Kenny Pickett will need to take a step forward over the second half of the season, the Steelers seem to be uh, pivoting toward the non-heavy attack that fueled the 7-2 finish a year ago. Pittsburgh has piled up 371 yards rushing combined over the last 2 weeks behind Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris, and heads to Cleveland with momentum. While maturing, we're growing up, trying to get that balance. We're always searching for. Pickett said, "We're going to continue to push for that, but right now, I think we're in a much better place with the run game right now than we were in week 2." So this is going to be a game, I think, where it's going to be a challenge for both teams. Uh, And right now it's 7-0 Browns still. Second quarter, 3:08. Browns have the ball. I said 3:08 left to go in the second quarter until halftime. Second and fourth at the 50. At the Pittsburgh 50, I believe. Yeah, it's at the Browns 50. And we'll get to the picks of the week in just a moment. But right now, it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 week 11 NFL trivia question. As you know, it's a Steelers question. A Steelers trivia question, excuse me. Who did the Steelers beat in their first regular season game? And if you said the Cleveland Browns, you are correct. And the Steelers won 30-27. And I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast. So stay tuned for that. Right now, we're going to get to all the other NFL action. And the picks of the week right now. And right now, I have taken the Browns for today's game. My brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle, has taken the Steelers. Don't ask me why, but he did. Thursday night, the Baltimore Ravens beat the Cincinnati Bengals 34-20. I took the Ravens for my brother-in-law, so we're both 1-0 right now. And as you know, Joe Burrow, the Bengals quarterback's out for the rest of the season with a shoulder injury, so he's got to have surgery. And so their backup will be starting next week. And the Chicago Bears are battling the Detroit Lions at Ford Field in Detroit. 7-7. It's tied at 7 between Chicago and Detroit. Minute 58 to go to halftime. 4th and 6 at the Detroit. 13. Chicago has the ball. I've taken the Lions, and so is my brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle. The Los Angeles Chargers are in Green Bay at legendary Lambeau Field, taking on the Packers. They're up 10-7 right now with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter till halftime. It's a 4th and 5. at the Chargers 47, and the Chargers have the ball. And I've taken the Chargers, and so is my brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle. The Houston Texans are taking on the Arizona Cardinals at NRG Stadium in Houston, and it's 14-0, 14-10, excuse me, Houston. And it's a 1st and 10 at the Arizona 20. The Cardinals have the ball. 6:10 left to go till halftime. I have Houston for that game. My brother-in-law took the Cardinals. He took Arizona, so that was one that we don't agree on. Uh, the Tennessee Titans are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's up 10-0 with 1:54 left to go in the second quarter. 4th and 10 at the Tennessee 30. Titans have the ball. And I've taken Jacksonville, and so is my brother-in-law. He's taking the Jaguars as well. Uh, uh, and the 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 Las Vegas Raiders are taking on the Miami Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, and it's 10-7 Raiders with 3:11 left to go in the second quarter, and and it's a 3rd and 10 at the Raiders 11, and Miami has the ball. The New York Giants are taking on the Washington Commanders at FedEx Field in Washington. In Washington today, and it's 14-3 Giants. And for that last one, I have taken Miami, and so is my brother-in-law. He's taking the Dolphins. Now, and it's 14-3 Giants. I'm surprised that 5:58 left to go in the second quarter until halftime. It's 2nd and 6 at the Washington 24. The Commanders have the ball. I've taken Washington, and so is my brother-in-law. He's taking the Commanders. In the late games today, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in San Francisco to take on the 49ers at Levi Stadium. I've taken the 49ers, so is my brother-in-law, Eric Hoyle. The Buffalo Bills will host the New York Jets at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo. I've taken Buffalo, and my brother-in-law has too. Uh, the Seattle Seahawks are in Inglewood, California, SoFi Stadium to take on the Rams. I've taken the Seahawks, so is my brother-in-law. Sunday Night Football. The Minnesota Vikings take on the Denver Broncos at Empire Field at Mile High. I've taken the Broncos. My brother-in-law's taking the Vikings. That's another one we don't agree on. And Monday Night Football and an AFC-NFC matchup of two first-place teams. Philadelphia Eagles take on the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. I've taken Kansas City. My brother-in-law's taken Philadelphia. So we have four we don't agree on, which is the Browns game, the Houston Arizona game, the Denver Minnesota game, and tomorrow night's game, KC and Philly. Right now it is 7-0 Browns at the 2-minute warning. 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 45. Browns have the ball. So we're getting close to halftime, and I do think the Browns will get the win in today's game against the Steelers. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101. Browns NFL Week 11 early games update show. I'll be back with the post-game show once the Browns game and all the early games have concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.